with Dr. Deborah Stroman.
From the basketball court at the University of Virginia to the classroom at UNC Chapel Hill, Dr. Deborah Stroman has it all covered. Now this professor and sports business entrepreneur is about to take you to school. It's time for Dishing It Up with Dr. Stroman and the Sports Shop on Buzz Sports Radio.
Good
morning.
Good morning,
Good
Dr.
morning,
Stroman.
good people. How are you?
We're doing fantastic, Dr.
How are
Stroman.
you?
I am doing well. Life is good. No complaints. I'm excited about tonight's game
Yes.
to see whether or not the two Jays can deal with the foreign stars. Kyrie from Australia.
I was going to say, wait a minute, Kyrie's from New York, but he's from Australia, though. You're right.
You
That's
wrong,
right.
You wrong
That's
for that,
right.
Dr. Stroman. You wrong for that. You know that boy from New York.
Jersey, actually, Jersey. Yeah.
You know wrong. See, that's that Philly Jersey hate.
There we go. So I thought I want to continue with the WNBA. But I want to look at it in a way that is, I don't want to say controversial. It's just another one of the topics that we don't like to talk about, just like racism, right? Certainly the matter of what I call the WNBA and sexual orientation presence is right in front of us. And I think we need to talk about it. We can try to be as authentic as possible. Hopefully we can do that. And then there's a sense of our own personal privacy. And we don't necessarily want to share what we really, really feel with the listening audience or with strangers or people that we just meet. Cameron Brink, who we all know is one of the top stars of college basketball, Stanford, drafted into the WNBA. And she had some comments that I thought could help to propel this conversation. She's doing a very good job as a rookie with the Sparks. She's considered a defensive standout already. She's averaged about 9 points, about 5 boards, and has almost 3 blocks per game. And really, that's why they thought she would be such an important foundation for a young upstart team, defensive presence. But when she was asked, what part do you want to play in making the WNBA more iconic? Here's her quote. She said, I could go way deeper into this, but would just say growing the fan base to support all types of players. I will acknowledge there's a privilege for the younger white players of the league. That's not always true, but there is a privilege that we have inherently, and the privilege of appearing feminine. Some of my teammates are more masculine. Some of my teammates go by they, them pronouns. I want to bring more acceptance to that and not just have people support us because of the way we look. I know I can feed into that because I like to dress femininely, but that's just me. I want everyone to be accepted, not just paid attention to because of how they look. And so in our country, and I'll just speak for the United States, there is no doubt that we have, I'll just say, more than enough men who do not like women. I mean, just absolutely hate women. They don't even have to know women, but they just hate them. I don't know what happened in their childhood. I don't know if there was some abuse or whatever. But there are men out there who just hate women. And I think, Pam, certainly we can see that when we read some of the comments in some of these articles, just the hatred of women.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that comes out. And then there are people who are, whether you're whatever sexual orientation or sexuality, that they're very uncomfortable with women that look masculine, that have a butch type, as the nickname is, butch type features. Now, from a science perspective, we know this is research. This is, qualitative, quantitative, mixed methodology, whatever you want to say. We know that there is a sexual orientation spectrum. There are people who are just flat out femme and flat out male, right? Just flat out. And then there's a wide range. And this all goes to our chromosomes, how many X, how many Y, and all of that. So we know there are people out there, even if they wanted to, their DNA, their biology, their genetics says this is how you appear. And so for some people, I'm talking about women, people who are born at birth, who are feminine, right, or women, or a woman, they will try to put on extra makeup. They will try to do things to enhance their femininity. And then there are some who are more male chromosomes, and they might try to put on more makeup, more lipstick. Like, people are trying to adjust to fit in. And then there are those who say, you know what, it's just who I am, and I'm going to live my life. And I'm not talking about anybody sleeping with anybody. This has nothing about who's going to bed with whom. I'm just talking about how you show up in the world. There's a word called cisgender that's often used now that we know more about human sexuality. Cisgender means it's someone whose internal sense of gender corresponds with the sex the person was identified as having at birth. That is, most people who are assigned female at birth identify as girls or women. And then most people who are assigned male at birth identify as boys or men. So I'll just pause there and ask your thoughts on watching a game, highly competitive game of girls, of women playing sports, this sense of a girl or a woman looking too masculine. Should the league do anything to promote the more wholesome cisgender feminine players? So that's the discussion. That's something I think we should all continue to reflect upon, because it's certainly come up now with the whole Caitlin Clark and these rookies and what's going on in the league.
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah, well, first of all,
to go.
my
So
first
many
answer is,
places.
how do you regulate that? I mean,
How would it?
That would be very difficult to do. And what, you got to take a picture of somebody, you got to come in and see somebody in person and you determine whether or not they're worthy of being in WNBA or not, because we want to move in more, less masculine way or more feminine. I don't know how you regulate. I don't know how you control that. That's something.
Well, you can do it with the uniforms and the dress. I know a lot of European teams way back when would wear those little tight shorts like volleyball players.
Right.
They would do that for basketball. And I've been in the stands where I heard fans saying, USA women need to wear those, as in make them more feminine looking versus wearing shorts like guys.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
you can do it through the uniform.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, we're talking with Dr. Deborah Stroman, Dishin over D. Stroh, saying we do each and every week. And, Dr. Stroman, just talking about the optics of women in sports and what it is and how it's growing and where it's going. I guess for the WNBA, you probably have to decide first, are you here to entertain us with your sport? Or are you here to entertain us just, with your looks or whatever? Because if I'm here to watch the sport, it really doesn't matter what you're wearing, right? And reality is, if you want to get into that, that's almost akin to, well, we don't really want to watch the NBA Finals because the guys have too many tattoos and it's not very attractive, whatever. But nobody says that. You know why? Because nobody cares about that, because they want to watch the sport. If you really come to watch the sport, you don't care if they have little shorts on or long shorts. If you got a nose ring or you don't, right? You come to watch the sport. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to market the sport by saying we have attractive players to come look at.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it's got to get to where you're saying just more about watching the sport of basketball. And that's going to, because the part that's missing still is some of the respect that needs to come with the WNBA. And it is physical. Asia Wilson last night, although she broke history, she also was bloody, throughout from head to toe. So it's very physical. It's very competitive. And
why can't it be both? Why can't the sports be amplified to the point they're very good players and they can be attracted to as well? Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. You're right.
They just happen to be attractive.
Right, exactly. But they can ball too.
Right.
And I think it can be
basketball players first.
Yeah. Because
be basketball players first.
And to me, they balling. I mean, I watched the game last night with the Aces. I'm sitting there watching the game. I would have never watched this game last year.
But I guess the question I would come back to the NBA or the WNBA, and those powers that be on how they want to do. So what are you trying to market to me? Are you trying to market that you have a great product on the court? Or are you trying to market that, hey, come look at us because we have, beautiful women also, that you can see. But spend your energy and market how great the game is.
Well, I think the challenge is it's a business, and so you want to make money.
That's right.
And I was looking at the research. WNBA fans, 44% are women. In the NBA, 40% of the fans are women. So definitely more women are watching WNBA than men.
Yep.
But when you're talking about media and trying to appeal to an audience of men, the challenge is sexualization of women can sometimes bring in more money for the company if you endorse a very attractive, feminine-looking woman. I think it's the University of Minnesota who has the amazing women's sports research lab center, and they talk about how the statistics show that, about this whole sexualization of women athletes. Does that really, bring in more dollars? So when you have a male audience that most of them, prefer to, their sexual orientation is more cisgender and they want to be with women, they want to see pretty, sexy women out there who are ballers.
Right.
But yet when you've got a league where, I don't know the percentage, but let's just say it's noticeable that there are a number of women who are playing this game of basketball who have, a more masculine look. Mm-hmm. Do you run the risk of, we're going to turn some people off? Or do you just keep hoping to find those fans who don't care, and they don't care what the player looks like. They just want to see some good basketball.
Yeah. And let's,
I hope it's the latter. I really do, yeah.
And I know you got to run, Dr. Stroman, but I know it's fun to beat up on the WNBA, but we could take women's tennis the same way. Serena was a top player in tennis for almost a decade, and a woman that she beat the brakes off of repeatedly made twice as much as she did in endorsements.
Sharapova, that's right.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sharapova,
yes, it was everywhere.
Is it about the sport, or is it about what sells?
That's a great point.
Because nobody was paying premium price until the end to come see Serena be dominant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were paying premium prices to see Serena beat up on the cover girl of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason. She's the cover girl of the week, and she was branding wise, she's marketable, and they pushed
there you go.
Yeah.
So that's why they did it that way. Yeah.
Revenue.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, something to reflect on as we watch these games. I'm so glad I'm a part of a team, where you believe in sport is sport, play the ball, or
That's
don't
right.
play the ball, go home, and we're not looking at whether or not someone looks a particular way.
Yeah.
So you all have a great day. Let's get excited for tonight and continue to support women's basketball.
You too. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, Dr. Stroman.
Have a great day.
All right.
You too.